Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome to one of the first actual videos I've done in a while. Also, you'll see behind me a new setup. I'll probably make a video going over like my new office and everything like that. A lot of exciting stuff going on in life right now. But I wanted to make a video, and there's not much purpose to it or anything, but it was just it's been a while since I've made an actual video instead of live streaming. And so if you guys remember, back in 2018, I made a video where I went over my trophy list, all the trophies that I'd accumulated in my time of, trophy hunting, basically. And I did a little blurb on, like, significant ones, and that video ended up surprisingly doing really well. I think I just checked it, and it has, like, 27,000 views, and I was kind of amazed by that. So anyway, it's been a little over 4 years since then, and I think, my gaming has gone down slightly as I finished college and started working and everything, but I still enjoy trophy hunting when I can, and I think I've just about doubled my statistics, at least my platinums, since then. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just do exactly what we did last time 4 years later. And if you guys like these type of videos, I'll start doing them maybe I don't know, once a year or something like that, and just kind of track my progress. Big difference now is that I'm on the PS5 instead of the PS4, and so we'll go through this list together. Like last time, I'm going to go down and kind of work my way up, because the order that you see here goes on recently played. So when I made this video last time, it was after I finished platinuming God of War, and so like I said, that was 4 years ago. A lot of gaming has happened since then, and I think it will be pretty interesting to kind of go over that together. So right here, if you were to go back and watch, this would look very familiar. This is basically where I left off, getting the platinum on God of War. That's kind of what inspired me to make the video when I did. So let's go ahead and see what I've been up to since then, and I'll let you guys know that trophy hunting took a little less value for me over the years because, like I said, I just wasn't gaming as much. I had other life responsibilities. But when I can, and sometimes I get kind of waves of inspiration, I like to try to platinum or 100% any game that I can. But you're going to see a lot of games in here that I played once and just left alone. Back in the day, I never would have done that. I would have just obsessed over it until I got the platinum. But I'm just more casual with it now. But anyway, you can see the main stats in the top corner. So I did pretty much double since the previous video. So total, 35, 62 trophies, 67 platinums. Last time I had 33. And then you can see the stats for gold, silver, and bronze right there. And one thing I want to point out, one other thing that I care about, it's not so much the quantity of the platinum. I started to care more about the quality. So rather than going out and getting My Name is Mayo and things like that, I cared a little bit more about which games I was platinuming versus how many. So Batman Arkham Asylum, this is a funny game. I don't remember if I talked about it in the last one. I think I did because I talked about BioShock, maybe. So let's actually skip that. I'm going to go up here to the Wolf Among Us, and I realize my webcam is on screen, so I'll remember that. But anyway, this was an interesting point in my life because I had just moved locations. I moved into a studio apartment, so by myself. I was getting ready for grad school, and I was really excited because I finally had a space all to myself. So I worked on my setup, and this is when I first started recording Let's Platinums. And it was a lot of fun. And so what you'll see here, The Wolf Among Us, this was just a Telltale game, pretty standard. You just play the game, you get the platinum, so not much to say here. There is going to be a sequel coming out, and it was a really fun game, so looking forward to that. But otherwise, not too much on that platinum. Crash Bandicoot, we'll revisit Crash later on in this list, but this is from the trilogy, the remastered trilogy, so Crash 1, 2, and 3. This is Crash 3. It was the last one that I platinumed. And yeah, this was a really fun one. It looks like I got the platinum on January 3rd of 2018, but I think the reason this is showing up is because of what you see here. Later on in June is when they released, so this is right around the time I moved out. They released an extra level. It was like a bonus level, and there were 2 trophies that went with that, and so I had to get those as well. Perils of Baking. This was a really cool one because the guy who made this game, it's just a small little indie game. I actually recorded a Let's Platinum for it, But this was a small little indie game that the guy who made it reached out to me personally, offered me a free copy to do YouTube videos on, and I did, and it was actually a really fun game. Sadly, as I started to kind of decline in my YouTube activity, years later, he came out with another game, and he emailed me again and was like, hey, I'd love you to cover it. And at that point, I just was kind of out of the game, so it never came to be. But I still appreciate him for doing that. Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Is this the Oh, this is the PS3 version. So I did a Let's Platinum. I had already platinumed the game on PS4. I just wanted to do it again, so I recorded it on PS3. So you're not going to see any of the brutal trophies here, but this was just the standard, get all the treasures, beat the game on crushing, miscellaneous. Yeah, just for YouTube. These three were a ton of fun. So I did do a Let's Platinum for Spyro, and then Spyro 2 and Spyro 3. Again, this was like Crash. This was the... Man, I really love the way my setup looks. I've been working hard on this, so I hope you guys like it. I'll do a video. I'll definitely do a video like an office tour. That'll be fun. But yeah, so the Spyro remastered games, ton of fun. I had an absolute blast platinuming all three of these. Yeah. And you'll definitely see this trend where you're seeing all these like 100%, and then we're gonna get up and you're gonna see like 50%, 40%, 2%, and it's just like that trend takes over. Flipping Death, that was not a very fun game. That was, I was at the point with YouTube where I was not making as many walkthroughs, and I was trying to cover any game that I could. It was just a small little game that came out. I recorded a couple trophy guides for it, but not much to say here. Not a very fun game. Not worth it in my opinion, but still got the platinum nonetheless. Evil Within 2, again, I recorded a Let's Platinum for Evil Within 1 that'll actually appear later in the list. But this was for Evil Within 2, where you gotta beat it on classic mode and everything. A lot of fun, again. I recorded the whole series. Not as tough of a platinum as Evil Within 1, but still good amount of fun. Let's see, Crash Team Racing. Yeah, so this one is one that I most likely will never get the platinum for. So I can actually go here and sort by not earned. If you know anything about the Crash games, it's the time trials. I killed, you'll see this later, I killed myself on time trials for a different Crash game. So this is one I've just swept under the rug. I'm pretty sure I'm never going to go back and do it right here. Beat all Nefarious's trophy times. Beat all Nitrous Oxide's time. That one's even harder. And then there's just a couple other ones that probably go with that I didn't get. But yeah, this is one that I'm pretty convinced I'm never going to play that game again. So sadly, 74 is where that's going to stay forever. Habroxia, this is a cool one because this was made by the same guy that made Perils of Baking. Again, he reached out to me. This was a cool little like Galaga-inspired arcade space shooter. And Platinum was relatively simple. It was like beat all the levels, basically. Couple miscellaneous trophies, but yeah, really cool. The guy gave me a free copy, and it was a fun game. He did a good job. Alright, where are we at? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So this was the remaster that they put out just for the campaign. There was no multiplayer. I loved Modern Warfare 2. This was probably the biggest Call of Duty game I played in my time with COD. The multiplayer, getting the nuke was like the best. So this was a fun platinum, and I really enjoyed that they remastered it. I ended up getting the Modern Warfare 1 remaster as well. That'll appear later. And as far as campaign goes, Modern Warfare 1 is better, but this was still a really fun platinum. Now this is interesting. You're going to see a little trend here. It's really cool. You're going to notice like significant timelines with these trophies. Like I mentioned before, I had moved out into a studio apartment. So the interesting thing about this one, Adam's Venture Origins, we're going to look at the date of the platinum here, April 19th, 2020. So unless you were living under a rock, that date is going to stand out to you. That's about a month into COVID lockdown. So March 17th, 2020 is when I got sent to work from home because of COVID. And I think a lot of people being locked in their homes, we're looking for new hobbies. We're doing a lot of things they usually didn't have time to do. And for me, I started gaming a lot, and I bought a subscription for PS Now, which was like, they have a new one now, but It was like the big list of games that you could download for free or stream for free. So this was just like a kind of a shitty little rip-off Uncharted. It wasn't meant to rip off Uncharted, but you could see where it like draws its inspiration. It was a fun little game, but nothing to write home about. But yeah, this is significant because this is when COVID first hit, and I downloaded PS Now, and it's when I stopped caring so much about trophies, and I was like, I just want to play as many games as possible because, again, locked in your house, what else are you going to do? That's what you see here, Sly Minigames. This goes with Sly Cooper, which you'll see later. Limbo, this is a game that I've gotten all the trophies for numerous times, so I just probably did it for fun because it's a great game and it always deserves a replay. Machinarium, same thing. This was a PS, so this is where you'll start to see that dip. So this was, man, I didn't realize how much stuff is here. So this one, anything about this one? It's the only significant thing, again, it's a PS Now game that I downloaded. Got 9% of the way. Eventually I'll go back and like finish it, but again, I was at that point where I was just playing as many games as possible, didn't really care about the trophies because I was in lockdown, and there you go. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, just a great game. Wanted to replay it, so I did. Deadlight Director's Cut. This is another little interesting game I played a long time ago. On Xbox, the original version of the game, I got all the achievements. But then now, this is the Director's Cut, and you'll notice I don't have the Platinum, and that's because there's a couple new things that weren't on the original, which are pretty difficult. So, Nightmare Mode, if I remember correctly, I think it's permadeath, which I hate permadeath. Last more than a certain amount of time in survival mode, which, again, it's just kind of tough, and then defeat 200 enemies. So these two go together, and then beat it on the hardest setting. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back for that one, to be honest. Back to Bed, once again, a PS Now game that I just wanted to play. It's a little puzzle game. It's interesting. There's a handful of trophies I need. You can see there's no platinum, but again, maybe I'll go back and get 100%, but I'm not sure. I don't know. One day. Sly Cooper, I definitely want to go back and finish. I never played this game as a kid. I recently played Ghost of Tsushima, which is made by Sucker Punch, who made this game. I loved it. But yeah, this is a fun platformer. I just need to set aside time to go back and get it. Now we get into some fun stuff. So, Resi Zero, that was on my list for a while. For the older Resi games, for those that know, they typically contain a lot of playthroughs to get the Platinum. So, yeah, I was working on the Platinum. At the same time, for YouTube, for fun, I was recording a professional difficulty no damage walkthrough, which I got to like the very last part of the game, and I just kind of lost interest in it and deleted all my footage, which was kind of stupid, but what are you going to do? But it was a fun Platinum, and I actually really like Resi Zero. I think it gets a lot of crap thrown its way. I like it. That's all I'm going to say. Resi 3, the remake, a lot of people didn't really like this as well. Can't say I was obsessed with it. I liked Resi 2 a lot more, but I'll show you probably the hardest part about it was here, getting the S rank on Inferno. There's just certain stuff on Inferno that was really annoying, like the final boss. But, you sit down, give it an hour, and you figure it out. But, like, yeah, I don't know. This Platinum for me, probably out of a lot of the Resi games, wasn't very fun. After I played the game once or twice, it just felt kind of tedious. I don't know. Good game, but, again, I got the Platinum. Probably never going to play Resi 3 again. Shadow of Mordor, fantastic game. This is one that I think they recently shut the servers down, so I don't know if I can actually go back and finish these DLC trophies. But I got the Platinum. That's probably all I care about for this game. I don't really care enough to go back and get these because I kind of just got burnt out on this game. Like, I'm never going to play the sequel because, again, it was fun, but I don't know, just kind of got burnt out with this one, but we're worth it. Okay, now we get into an interesting timeline. This is when I got my hands on the PlayStation 5, and, picking up that new console, my kind of inspiration for trophy hunting peaked again. So I tried to, like, get Platinums at that point, but then again, you'll see that dip. Astro's Playroom, incredible game. It's a free game that was meant to showcase all the new, functions of the PS5. Really fun platinum, really fun game. Yeah, no complaints there. It was really cool. Black Ops Cold War, kind of the example. I got it on PS5. I was like really feeling the PS5 and trophy hunting. I was playing a lot of multiplayer on COD again, and then it just became the typical COD bullshit with like zombies mode, which I really don't care for, and some multiplayer stuff. But yeah, typically what I do with the COD games is I get all the campaign trophies, and then the rest are just kind of for fun. Dissection, this was a fun one. So this was in, when did I platinum this? March of 2020. So this is a cool one because at this point, Jenny and I had been dating for 6 months, and I'll always remember this because she was just over one night and we were staying up late playing games, and we just got the idea like, let's find a shitty little indie horror game. And we browsed the store, and this one was like on sale. And so I just remember laying in the room and playing this game at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was just, it's like such a shitty game, but it was fun. It's like the memory of getting that platinum makes me think of Jenny, and it was just like it was a fun night, and I don't know, that always sticks out in my head. DBD, never gonna get the platinum. It's a multiplayer only game, really hard. Never gonna happen. The Forest, this is a fun one. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back and platinum this, but this is a great game because in my memory, Jenny and I played this together. Fast forward to now, and her and I are living together and we're engaged, but back then we weren't living together. And so every night I'd finish work, she'd come home from work, we'd hop on our headsets, and her and I would play either The Forest or DBD together. So this is another game that when I see The Forest, I think of Jenny. I don't even think of the game, because yeah, gaming really like strengthened our relationship early on, because every night we just hop on and play and talk to each other, and it was really cool. So that's always what I'll think about when I think of The Forest. Man, I might have to do this in 2 parts. Yeah, I might do this in 2 parts. So let's do a couple more. Lego Harry Potter. Again, this was a PS Now game that I started and then dropped and then picked up again. So 54%. If you know Lego games, I basically just have to go through and get all the collectibles. That's really all that's like holding me back, and then a bunch of like miscellaneous trophies. So I'll probably go back and get this one, but it's going to take some time. Marvel, Miles Morales, not much to say about this one. It was like a launch title with the PS5. It was meant to be a DLC, but they launched it as like kind of a full game. So the campaign itself is like 2 to 3 hours. Not a hard platinum. Very similar to the Spider-Man platinum. But yeah, really fun game, and I'm super stoked for Spider-Man 2 and the Wolverine game that's coming out. They do amazing work with these games, so really thrilled for that. Alright, I will do 3 more games, and then we'll do a part 2. Yeah, I'm going to end it before Resi Village so that you have a reason to hop on to part 2. Amnesia, this is a game that I had never played, and it's obviously super famous. I finally bought it. I bought like the whole collection, so there's like a lot going on here. But when I played it for the first time, I didn't pay any mind to trophies. I just wanted to play the game and get like fully immersed. So that's exactly what I did. So like this 36% completion, this is by purely just playing the game, not worrying about trophies at all. Eventually, I'd like to go back and get the platinum because I had a lot of fun with it, and I think getting the platinum would encourage me to explore a little more and learn a little more and like get all the collectibles. So it's on my list, and then plus it's the collection, so a lot there. And then finally, the one I'll end it on, 0% completion. This is for A Way Out. It was made by that game we saw earlier, Brothers, A Tale of Two Brothers or something like that. But yeah, this was one that Jenny and I had played together on stream, and we didn't unlock any trophies during the stream, but it was a really fun game, and so I would love to play with her and both of us get this platinum together. But yeah, right now, 0%. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I hope you enjoy. These are fun videos to make. I feel like it's just a chance to sit and like talk about trophies. But if you're interested in part 2, I'm going to start off with Resi Village, so hopefully you join. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. Feel free to help out supporting the channel. And I'll see you in part 2.